This is News on Friday.
Hello everyone, this is News on Friday, broadcasting at the Koilip TV studios here in Njoro, Egerton University, Kenya. I'm Caleb Koyo. Let's look at the headlines first. The youth and inflation. What exactly do you know about inflation and how does it affect you as a young person? Egypt is open to Kenya. The North African country is calling upon Kenya to export more. Now the broadcast begins. Egypt plans to import more fruits and other food products from Kenya in a move that is now set to reduce trade imbalance titled in favor of the North African country. Business delegations from the two countries have so far met and of course they have also had trade deals signed. Kenya mainly sells tobacco, paperboard and fruits of course to Egypt, with the value of the overall imports now growing 8.67% to Kenya shillings 18.9 billion between 2014 and 2020. Egyptian ambassador to Kenya, Khalid Abiyad, now calls upon local farmers and businesses to tap the vast Egyptian market with increased shipment of fruits. Take a look.
The Egyptian-Kenyan trade relations are been growing, as you heard from the speakers, for the past 5 years really fast. We reached 2020, we reached around $636 million. We have a $1 billion target to reach. I think we're heading in the right direction because even during the COVID year, we witnessed a growth in the volume of trade. 2021, we don't have the figures of the entire year. We have the figures of the first half. There is an increase in the volume. Of course, this kind of events helps even to boost more the trade relations between both countries, and because of this kind of events that we keep on having this increase in the volume of trade. This is like food industries mainly, as you see, this is the forum is about food industries, which is actually the sector where the trade balance is in favor of Kenya, because mainly, as you know, we're the second biggest importer of Kenyan tea. So actually in this particular sector, the trade balance is in favor of Kenya. But anyways, this kind of event is to boost trade, and it's mainly in the food industry sector.
There are figures that were given by the Minister of Trade, but generally what it means is that the trade balance between Egypt and Kenya is in favor of Egypt, meaning that we are importing more from Egypt than what we are exporting into Egypt. And this forum, one of the objectives that is seeking is to ensure that we are trying to bridge that gap, so that whatever that we are importing from Egypt, we have a similar amount or close amount of what we are exporting into Egypt. So even the Egyptians who are here, they are not only coming to export into Kenya, but they're also coming to import Kenyan products. And that's why we brought so many of our members, more than 50 members from the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who are going to have a B2B discussions. And this is a follow-up of an event that we held in July last year, where we took 87 business people to Egypt, and they were able to have interaction and discuss. They have been closing deals. Because of that, now we're seeing a lot of increase in export of food, including the avocado, of course, and other fruits and vegetables, which have an easy access into Egypt, and then from Egypt they are able to re-export into the Gulf region and into Europe. So Egypt is a very strategic market when it comes to exporting to those other neighboring countries. What I know the objective of this, and that's why we partnered with the Food Export Council of Egypt, is that we are looking at increasing our exports into Egypt. And I know most of the products that they are taking from us are in commodity form, like tea and coffee. But now we've seen that there is need and there is a really big demand for other products like avocados. We have companies in Murang'a, we have companies in Nyeri, I've seen them here, I've seen companies from Kisumu here who have different products. with which we want to really ensure that we are able to push those products into the Egyptian market. And that is exactly what we are targeting. So we want to narrow down. Our objective this year and the years to come is to narrow down that trade imbalance and be at 50-50, or at worst maybe 45-50. 55, so that we don't really have to like we are importing so much, and the importation is because of the high value of products. You see, what Egypt does is that normally they buy commodities from across the world, and then they repackage and value add. So we're also encouraging our business community to add value to whatever that we're having, so that we can even get more money for the little products that we sell.
Rural roads usually have relatively low traffic volumes. Their contribution towards the generation of the national gross domestic product (GDP) is therefore seldom viewed as being of major importance. In a country's major agricultural areas, however, the role of these roads is certainly not only to provide access but to facilitate mobility for agricultural supplies to markets. Well, this is how bad roads are affecting the youthful farmers in Naivasha.
Wakati iliharibika tunapata shida sana, kwa sababu pikipiki haiwezi panda huko juu, punda kuenda ni shida, kwa sababu wakati punda inaenda na kumenyesha inakuja ikiangusha mzigo. Na wakati sasa imetengenezwa itakuwa usaidizi, pikipiki inaweza enda na magari zinaweza enda, na sasa faida yetu ni kuwa hii barabara ikiwa mzuri itasikanisha Narok na Nakuru.
Sasa hii tunapanda mahindi ukiita mwenye ananunua anakuambia mahindi ni shilingi 5. Kwa viazi naye kuna kangunia ingine tulikuwa tunanunuliwa 300. Sasa unaona ni hasara. Kulingana hata na vyenye fertilizer imepanda, tuko na shida sana sasa kama wakulima. Hapa naweza omba wenye wanaweza tusaidia tupate barabara. Chakula yetu tunalimanga na inakuwa mzuri, lakini shinda iko ya nini ya barabara ndio shinda sana.
Wakati tunapotoa mavuno yetu kupeleka mahali gari inaweza fika, unakuta ya kwamba tunatumia punda, saa ingine tunatumia pikipiki, na bei inakuwa ghali sana, kwa sababu kama wakati kuna mvua unakuta ya kwamba pikipiki inalipisha shilingi 300, punda ni shilingi 200. Unakuta ya kwamba mambo yetu yanaenda mbaya.
The government is finalizing the formulation of regulation that will govern the scale of scrap metal amid a presidential freeze on the trade to curb increasing case of vandalism. The National Assembly Committee on Trade said that the Line Ministry has completed drawing regulation that will invite stakeholders in scrap metal traders to give their views on Wednesday before tabling them to Parliament for scrutiny within 2 weeks. This is a very big relief to around 800,000 people who depend on this business for survival, and the youth who are planning to venture into scrap metal business. Remember, this is an outlet that contributes around 500 million to a nation's GDP annually. So it's really commendable to see the government actually moving to put the relevant laws into place so that those who are actually involved in this business can actually keep going. From the scrap update, we now take a break here on News on Friday. Much more is on the other end of the broadcast. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is News on Friday, broadcasting across the world at the Koilip TV studios here in Njoro, Egerton University, Kenya. I'm Caleb Koyo. Let's continue with the beam. In Kenya, the share of young people aged between 15 to 34 years old who are not in education, employment or training stands at around 16.9%, a percentage hugely attributed to inflation. But does the youth really understand what inflation is and how it affects them directly? Earlier this week, I spoke to our correspondent, Brenda Viola. Here is all you need to know about inflation, according to Brenda Viola. Inflation, you know, what comes to your mind when you hear the word inflation? Because nothing comes to my mind, and majority of the young people out here.
Yeah, true. Minute inflation, I hear inflation, the first thing that comes to my mind is money. Money, higher expense of, higher cost of living, higher cost of living standards. Okay. And people who are below a certain economic class are going to suffer a lot.
Okay.
And people who are higher, above that economic class are going to benefit. So,
okay, so who causes this? The people who are living above the dollar, or the people who are living below the dollar, making decisions that are making them stick right there?
you see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like the cause is almost unknown to some point, because it is the way things are. Like things have been here, things have been like this since the 1980s.
Yeah.
Whatever we're going through is not new.
Okay.
The US go through it, China goes through it. Basically, if you're a capitalist nation, then it is inevitable.
Okay.
So if there is a cause, maybe capitalism.
Capitalism.
Yeah. Maybe
Okay.
pin it on capitalism.
Now, coming back to our beautiful republic, of course, we have a share of young people between the age of 15 to 35 who are not in education, not in employment, or not in training.
Sure.
And this percentage is at, like, I think around 16.9% or something like that. Now, to these people, are they feeling the effect of inflation because they're not working, they're not in training, and they're not in school as well?
Of course.
Meaning maybe most of the time they don't have money, or the little they have.
I like how you say that maybe they're not feeling it, because they are feeling it. It's just that they don't know what they're experiencing.
Okay.
When you used to buy milk at 50 shillings, now it's 60 bob. That is inflation in its own. Yeah.
Right now it's 5 bob.
Exactly. So that is in inflation. Just because you don't really understand it doesn't mean you're not going to experience the effects. So people are going through inflation. It's just that nobody knows what it is, and nobody understands what it is. Sometimes it's unfortunate that a lot of young people between those ages, you say 15 to 35. A lot of people, very young people, will avoid certain topics, and then they'll say maybe this is the guys who were doing maybe forex trading, maybe guys in stock market, accountants and whatnot, but they fail to understand that the minute inflation hits, the minute last time I checked, it was around 5.64 now currently. The minute February clocks in and then inflation rises to maybe 7%, we will all feel it, whether or not you do trading, whether or not you're an accountant.
Whichever business you do.
Yes, provided you need to buy something from a shop, from the supermarket, we are all feeling this inflation.
But like you said, and I really do agree, the prices of the basic stuff that we use have really gone up a little bit. Not even some double, some triple. But we can still afford these things.
Yes.
Of course, Matchbox was 2 shillings when I was growing up as a kid in the village. It's 5 bob right now. I have Matchbox.
We still can afford it. I think it's all in, like, for now the experts, they understand why inflation will still be there. At the same time, it is going to be in a way that even the poorest of the poorest in the country are still going to afford that Matchbox. Take the example you're giving is when you were a child, the Matchbox was 2 shillings. Now you've grown up, Matchbox is 5 shillings. You can still afford the Matchbox. When inflation hits, the government set it such that employers are now supposed to increase our pay. So that we are able to survive within this, despite the inflation and whatnot. So you'll still be able to afford what you're affording. Your only basics. That your basics, exactly. Only that you tend to realize that if in the past you used to take like a cup of tea with 2 sugars, now you have to take 1. That is like inflation is set such that you're still supposed to be able to afford what you need. Above the luxury and whatnot, it's going to be a problem. That's why the gap between the rich and the poor will constantly be on the rise. Inflation favors some, it's a disadvantage for some. But at the end of it all, our government is set such that everyone will still be able to afford the basic needs.
And of course, full interview, full conversation about inflation and the youth. You can actually get to check out that interview on our YouTube page, Koilib TV, and also on our Facebook page, Koilib TV. Do also follow us on Twitter, like our Facebook page, of course, and also Instagram, so that you can actually, stay in the know with all the latest development as far as youth empowerment is concerned. Dairy Network seeks to serve as a catalyst for vibrant, profitable, sustainable business through dispensation of knowledge, Their mission is to empower, educate, support, mentor dairy farmers to thrive by providing needed knowledge through digital platforms, dairy training, and programs to strengthen individual farms, cooperative societies, and players along the dairy value chain. Earlier this week, I spoke to Mr. Patrick Njuguna, the founder. I started by asking him what they went through while registering this company and what you need to know as far as dairy is concerned. Here is that interview.
Dairy farming is a business that, as I said, has so many dynamics. Things are changing rapidly.
Yep.
So it needs energy. So as long as you don't have that energy, I don't think you can survive in dairy farming. And then I think we can borrow and live from from Europe. I think at the age of 50, 55, the farmers retire, and then the next generation
now takes over.
Yes, now we are highly encouraging farmers to retire. But before you retire, have you inspired someone to take over that business? And it becomes now dairy farming is a generational business. Of course, here in Kenya, we have seen the Wazungu's farm. You hear now they're in their third, fourth generation. But for us, that's not the case. How do we make this? And we can attribute this one on how even these farmers have conversation with their kids. So every time you are lamenting how it's a loss-making business, there's no young kid, there is no youthful person who will inherit a loss-making business.
That's true.
So yes, indeed, farmers should retire. And if you don't purpose to retire, make sure to inherit. Again, for the youth, we are advising them not to invest into dairy farming, thinking that their kids will inherit. Like this one is my side hustle. I want to grow it to a main hustle, and I hope and believe that my kids will take over. No, invest to first satisfy your curiosity.
That's true.
Secondly, invest it as a business. We're also telling youths not to treat dairy farming as a side hustle. We're telling them, can you call it an alternative income? Because when you look at even someone who have invested with just 5 cows, if you are to do the total evaluation of that business, you realize that someone who have invested slightly over 1 million. So you can't call that one a side hustle.
It's no longer a side hustle.
No, it's not. Maybe we need to define the threshold of a side hustle and an alternative business.
Definitely.
And sometimes I like putting it as a joke. You'll invest 1 million in dairy farming, but you'll do a kiosk there that is worth probably 50,000. But the way you manage and you follow up on that 50,000 business, it's not the way you are following it with probably because you are treating it as a retirement business, you are treating it as a side hustle. Ama hii nimeweka hapa isaidia wazazi, you know. So look at it from a different perspective. Can it pay your bills?
That's a very good question. I think that is now what we should be asking the youth, or what we should be telling them. Can it pay your bills? And of course, defining the threshold of what a side hustle should be, that's very nice perspective as well. The other day, the Nakuru County government, of course, under the leadership of Governor Lee Kinyanjui, said that the Nakuru County dairy industry is worth 10 billion. Do you think it's really worth 10 billion, or it's more or less? And, you know, of course, do you feel like the young people are having their share of this 10 billion?
It's so unfortunate to hear such a statement from the governor. I'll call it a cosmetic view. Just to impress and maybe gain a political mileage. Because you should ask yourself, out of that 10 billion, how much is a farmer fetching? Like I've even read in so many local dailies, a milk processor saying the way they paid farmers, I don't know, 100 million. But now when you narrow down, these 100 million, it's being divided to an almost 500,000 farmers. So at the end of the day, that farmer annually is getting something close to 60,000, 70,000. So that's an average of 5 to 10,000 per month, per family.
That's not enough
now, would you call that a successful business?
You can't, because it's never.
So for me, it's a so unfortunate that we are trying to hide our challenges. And that's the biggest threat to our industry. Because there's someone who took it and literally like, this thing is worth 10 billion.
Let me go in.
Nakuru County. No, I only need 1% of that 10 billion.
Yeah.
Or maybe I need 0.1% of that one. Then you go and invest and you realize, I'm only milking 100 liters in a day. What is the buying price of that 100 liters?
Yeah.
Probably something close to 4,000 in a day. That is 120,000 in a month. But now,
of course, full thread to that conversation with Mr. Patrick Njuguna can be found on our Facebook page, Koilib TV, and also on YouTube, Koilib TV. We move on with the broadcast. Cyberbullying is a form of harassment that is perpetrated using electronic media. The vice has become increasingly common, especially with the growing use of social media platforms. Most cases of cyberbullying occur on Facebook because it is the most preferred social media platform. With the general election just a month away, this vice is increasingly being normalized among the Kenyan youths. I spoke with Nakuru's all-time greatest poet, Willie Weber, on how the youth can be safe on social media this election period and after, and what you need to do in case you are experiencing an episode of cyberbullying. So Willie, thank you so much for speaking with us. We understand that the legal framework and the regulatory authorities governing cyberbullying are in place already, but the youth or the people who are being affected by this vice don't really feel like it's working. What do you think is going wrong?
As you know, cyberbullying is the use of electronic communication to bully a person, typically by sending messages or an intimidating or any threatening or in nature, or any defamatory statements, and most of the times cyberbullying huwa ina kwa social platforms because that is where people are.
Yes.
Most of the times you will find it rampantly on the socials, maybe on Facebook, enye wase wanatumia so many text or most of the times on Twitter.
Yes.
And now that we are in the run-up to the elections, it is unfortunate that we have started seeing these cases na zinaenda zikielekea juu, because now it is getting intense and people want to air their opinions and they don't know how.
Yes.
But you know, what you say is as important as how you say it.
Definitely.
So I'd really urge everyone, everyone out there who is using their phone, not only to mind what they are saying, but how they are saying it.
How they are saying it.
So, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Facebook right now, Facebook and Twitter, I sometimes feel like they have actually turned into a bed of cyberbullying. There are people there who want to communicate, and the way, like you said, how you said this thing is also very, very, very important.
True.
For the people who are already experiencing or who have experienced an episode of cyberbullying, what should they do, and who should they reach out to? How should they handle themselves?
Wow. So we have the cyber law.
Yep.
That is against the cyberbullying. And cyberbullying, according to the laws of the country, there was a law that was amended, the Security Law, the Security Act that was amended by the Parliament in 2019 against cyberbullying. Now you can report cyberbullying. And you know, most of these things are propaganda.
Yes.
Unfortunately, because we have bloggers who are paid to bully other people around, who are paid to bully other aspirants or people who want to vie or prospective political leaders. We have people who bully other people because they have a dissenting opinion.
Yes.
And most of the times these people are paid. It is a job. And it is very unfortunate because we have a section of people in our society who are paying other people to bully others for a pay. And we call them 527, denoting like you're getting paid 500 bob and 27 near to withdraw. The transaction cost. So it has become very hard to pin these people because you find one person is using 10 studio accounts or 5 proxies. So and it's one person. It has really become hard to pinpoint. But with the Security Act, now the security organs are now getting into tabs. They're now getting their foot forward all matters IT concerned. And they are getting these people and they are pinning these people. They are working closely with NCIC, the DCI wing and the security wing of the government. And also, I'd love to urge even the youths, let us not get used to use our socials, to use our Twitter accounts, to use our Facebook accounts to spread propaganda, to bully others, to bully other people who are of dissenting opinion for a pay. Our morals are go a really long way than the 500 bob or the 1,000 bob or even the monthly pay that we get. I understand we have some people who are on pay as much as 60 or 100,000. Whom their work for like the past 6 months up to the elections are waking up and tweeting about a specific topic. And I get that they are on a salary by these leaders who are aspirants. So their work is to spread propaganda. And in that line, they get themselves into bullying other people. So it is very unfortunate, but it's a good thing because we had a policy and now we have a law that is working. And actually right now you can charge someone in a court of law for cyberbullying, unlike before. So I can say we are not where we want to be, but we have to respect the fact that we are actually not where we used to be.
Of course, before I let you go, you are always on Twitter, you're always on Facebook. Of course, have you ever experienced an episode of cyberbullying yourself? Because you're one of the greatest poets of all time and you are always outside. So have you ever experienced an episode?
Wow, thank you so much for the compliment, one. And two, yes, I have. I have. It is unfortunate that is something I have to deal with on a very regular basis, if not every day. Because if you have to pen down your opinion, if you have to do a piece, I did a piece on my album, and I was really bullied online. I was bullied on Twitter, I was bullied even on YouTube and on Facebook, and by people of dissenting opinions. So there is a way you can relay your grievances without necessarily threatening other people or through derogatory statements or messages. I get that a lot, and I have developed a mechanism around it. Thick skin and an elastic heart, because I realize as an artist or as someone who wants to get out there, or you're all over out there, you'll always find people who don't agree rather with what you're saying. And unless you have a thick skin and an elastic heart, you'll either get into that mess and reply in a way that you also into that mess, or you can choose now to king over the situation. So most of the times I get into that situation. I get people who don't like my sentiments, and I would like to reiterate, if you're out there and you get there's a way you can respond that won't be as derogative. So I get that a lot on Facebook sometime, but it is mostly on Twitter, because this is where people pen down their opinions.
Okay, Willie, congratulations as well on your endorsement by Fadhili Development Program. Before I let you go,
thank you.
I had to really, of course, you've worked your people have waited a long time for such endorsements to actually get to you. So I think it's a very beautiful thing for the young people as well to have someone now who inspires them and motivates them and empowers them around.
Wow.
So thank you so much for speaking with us. Say hi to our good people at Fadhili Development Program.
I sure will. Thank you so much, and you should visit soon.
Most definitely. I have to pull up. Lazima nitoke mashamba.
Utoke mashamba kuje town. Nice. I'm working on my third album. It's done. I'll be releasing it soon. So I'll be having a show in Nakuru, Nairobi, then Eldoret. I'll keep you on the loop.
Please do, man.
Sawa.
Thank you for your time, Master.
Asante sana.
And of course, from King Willie Weber, we take another short breather here on News on Friday. Sports is up next. Stay with us.
polisi ekumaka na prison ya corbillard ekokumbanga na lilita epargne nga zu esalaka nga neti droge yeye bale.
Welcome back. The green grass never lies. Today, we continue with the bowler's profile, a look into some of Kenya's greatest female footballers. And we profile Gentrix Milimo Shikangwa. Gentrix was born on the 27th of November 2001. Known professionally as Shikangwa, she is a Kenyan professional footballer who plays for Harambee Starlets. Shikangwa first came to the public limelight in 2019. Then with the Harambee Starlets team, she took the Sekafa Championship with an unmatched bullish character. Her on-pitch performance made her stand out as a sore thumb in the team full of superstars. Kenya eventually clinched the title. Shikangwa is the third born, of course, from a family who basically plays football as well. She has followed in the footsteps of her siblings. Her elder sister, Jacqueline Ashita, played for Harambee Starlets. Her brother, Derek Anani, plays for Zoo FC, while her younger sister is an upcoming youngster. She currently plays for Faith Karumuk in Turkey. Of course, Shikangwa just the other day got her first hat-trick with her new club in Turkey. And of course, from Shikangwa's first hat-trick with her new club, now we come to the end of this broadcast. Remember, this is News on Friday, broadcasting live at the Koilib TV studios at Egerton University, Kenya. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel and share to your friends as well. Of course, you can also like our Facebook page, Koilib TV. Check us out on Instagram right now, on Twitter, and the various social media platforms. Check out also koilib.org or koilib.org. And of course, you can keep yourself updated with the latest happenings from the Koilib Center. I'm the Caleb Koyo, the once amazing, always amazing. Listen to me every day of the week from Monday to Friday on Koilib Radio on the Koilib Breakfast Show. Of course, if you want to know what the youth is doing, of course, how they are empowering themselves, and now, of course, they're really trying to change the narratives, then the Koilib Breakfast Show is what you should be listening to. This week, again, whatever you do, just be amazing. I'm the once amazing, always amazing. Until next time, cheers.